But let's get straight into what this Gyökeres update is from. There's two really. First of all, reports from Ebola in Portugal are basically saying that Gyökeres would, at this moment in time, choose Arsenal. Now, this is very interesting because just in the last hour, there are reports coming out that Arsenal have held talks with Gyökeres. So where does this leave Manchester United? Is it a snub? Well, I think when you read the Portuguese argument and the article, what it basically says is that Gyökeres is looking at the Premier League and he's looking at Arsenal, and that's the move he favours at the moment. Now, I don't think this is any coincidence, considering Andrea Berta has just gone to Arsenal as their sporting director. Now, I'd have took him at Man United in a heartbeat. I've mentioned him a couple of times over the last few years. He's very, very good sporting director, and he's going to want to make waves straight away at Arsenal. It worries me because I think he will want to confine Edu's reign at Arsenal to history books and go, here I am, I'm the guy who's brought this striker in. So it is worrying that there is talks going on between Arsenal and Gyökeres. But let's focus on Manchester United. I think the real important thing here is that I think we've held talks with Gyökeres as well. Reading between the lines and reading what's been coming out of Portugal, they're basically saying that Gyökeres to Arsenal would be about £58 million, 70 million euros. Just hold that thought for a moment as well, because apparently we're going to pay £40 million for Delap. 18 million more gets you Gyökeres. But look, anyway, it mentions Arsenal, it mentions Bayern, it mentions Barcelona, it mentions PSG, it mentions Liverpool. It doesn't mention Manchester United as an option that he wants at the moment. And the article says because they're not expected to be in the Champions League. So that would lead me to suggest that even though he's got a relationship with Amorim, and even though Man United would be a very, good move for someone like Gyökeres, apparently he'd favour Arsenal at the moment. But I think this just comes back to what we've already spoken about. It's about the Champions League. Now, I think the big concern here is, and I said to you a couple of days ago, have the talks, do the deal, and say, look, don't make your mind up till the end of May. And then you'll know whether we're in the Champions League or not. But I'm just worrying and wondering if Berta's gone into Arsenal and basically said, this is the guy we need, let's go and get him, and let's go and get it done before anybody else can do anything about it. In which case, we are going to be in trouble and we are going to get snubbed. It's really going to come down to whether Sporting surely play a clever game here. His release clause is actually 82 million. Surely Sporting play a clever game here and go, we're not doing a quick deal with Arsenal at 58 million. Let's wait until the end of the season and see if United come back in. That's what I'm hoping for. But it seems like Arsenal are making aggressive moves at the moment. And look, it'd be a very good signing for Arsenal, I'm not going to deny. And of course, you're going to choose Arsenal over Manchester United right here, right now. But we are still very much in with a shout of getting Champions League football. And as I said there, 58 million, sorry, 58 million is 70 million euros. This is the asking price for Gyökeres. And 40 million pounds is the price for Delap. Come on, I know I've said my piece about Delap and I think he's a good player, but 18 million pound difference for somebody that's, very experienced. I think that's where I'd be going. Andre Gomez says, so Arsenal's biggest flaw will be fixed by a super striker while we're going for long-term young players who won't have an immediate effect. So Jim Radcliffe needs to see other teams will just get better. Very good point, Andre. Very good point. Hello everybody, today's clip is supported by Sleeper. Before we dive in, let me tell you a bit more about Sleeper. This app is making serious waves. It was the #1 downloaded sports app in the US during the NFL season, even beating heavyweights such as ESPN and Yahoo. Sleeper isn't just popular, it's because they truly deliver the best fantasy experience. You get deeper customization, more league options, and all the bells and whistles that make managing your fantasy team a blast. But that's not all. Sleeper is growing a fantastic community with several million people using it daily for their sports fix. Sleeper has a broad appeal and is genuinely built for everyone. So, if you're looking to up your fantasy game, make sure to check out Sleeper by clicking the link in the video description. Trust me, you won't regret it. Zero Blade said, would it really? We're shit and he's in his prime. We're at least 4 years off a title challenge and he probably wants to win something big before hitting 30. Maybe. Maybe that is a good point. And Demetrius says, he's not coming. We need to focus on Osman. Look, why are you early? Because I'm doing the Premier League games on That's Football. I think in relation to Osman or Gyökeres, very happy with either of them. I feel with Gyökeres, he's looking at his career, he's looking at winning things, he's looking at Champions League football, and I get all that for the reasons just said there. He's 26, he probably wants to win things over the next 3 or 4 years. When I look at Osman, we've been told it doesn't matter if Man United are in the Champions League, and people start getting really excited about that. Remember about a year ago, he was going to go to Saudi. The thing about Osman is it not a concern that he was thinking about Saudi a year ago? And is it not a concern that it doesn't matter whether Man United are in the Champions League? Why is that? Is that because, he ain't serious about winning things, or he wants the best money? I don't know. I feel Osman's too bloody obvious. I've always said this. I would take the player. He's bloody good. I've said it for years. He's very, very good. I've been on about Osman so long. He used to be on my upfront for me in my FIFA career modes, and it's not even called FIFA anymore. But I think with regards to with Osman, I just feel like, how do I word this properly? I feel like they're just throwing his name out to everybody to get as many options as they can. Oh, I don't care if Man United aren't in the Champions League. I don't care if Ipswich have been relegated. I don't care if Salford play in League Two. I'm open to anything. And I've heard this before. And the reason you do this is the more people are involved, the more wages and signing on fees go up. So I'm not totally convinced that if we're not in Europe, that Osman just goes, yeah, I'll come to Man United. I'm not convinced about that. I'm not. I don't blame Gyökeres at all. We are not serious, says John. But Wraith in the chat says, you keep talking about Gyökeres as if he's a top-class striker, when the only club he's done anything at is Sporting, and that's took him till his mid-20s, just like you rave about Ollie Watkins, who's shit. You sort of ruined yourself there, mate. I don't think I need to reply, do I? I'd take Ollie Watkins in a heartbeat at Man United. Absolute heartbeat. And anyway, I think you missed the point. Osman might fail in the Premier League. Isak might have failed in the Premier League coming in from La Liga. Gyökeres might fail in the Premier League. Of course, people, Fernando Torres was a Premier League proven striker who went to live at Chelsea for £50 million and flopped. So anything can happen. So, I don't really get what your point is. We need an experienced striker. I believe that this one is one of the best we could go and get. I'm not going to sit here and guarantee he'll score goals because nobody can guarantee anything. But there's a reason all those clubs like PSG, Arsenal, Liverpool, Barcelona, Bayern Munich are being linked to him. And there's a reason people like West Ham, Everton, etc. aren't. Because he ain't going to any of them, is he? He's going to a top club. Who's going to get Sesko, says NK. Oh, you know what? You've sort of caught me on the spot here. I had hoped Arsenal were going to get Sesko because I don't actually think he's all that. I don't think he's the right player for us. I definitely don't. I think he's got the potential to be very good, but I don't think he's all that. I really don't, and I don't think he's the player I would be going for if I was him. The only way to get the good players is to go with higher wages due to no chance of the league or the Champions League. So same issue, high wage bill, says Bibby. I think we're genuinely going to struggle in this summer transfer window, and I think everybody knows it. As much as I hope for a surprise and as much as I hope for a shock, we're trying to bring the wage bill down, which means we won't pay high wages. We're not very attractive as a team at the moment, and we don't have a lot of money to spend. So again, it's another reason to go young. Young people don't want 200-300 grand a week because they can't demand it. Young people are cheaper. This is why we're looking at young. It's because it's cheap. It's not because of the future. It's because it's cheap. We want to buy a load of young players who are cheap, who might be worth something in the future. It's future when it comes to Man United.
Goldbridge, that's the end of the clip. I'm sure you enjoyed it. In fact, I bet that's the best clip you've ever watched. So there's no reason not to subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon so you never miss a clip again. In fact, smash a like on the video because we all know only legends like videos and you are all legends. So please smash a like on the video and we will see you again on the next one. Thank you very much for watching as always.